Welcome, guys, to Three Bold Takes. And today we want to take you out to Tuscaloosa, Alabama, where Alabama Sports has decided to, in their broadcasting booth, go a different direction from legendary announcer Eli Gold. And they're going with Chris Stewart after choosing not to sign Gold's contract. Guys, I wanted to see what y'all are thinking of the situation. Freddie, what you got?
Well, personally, I mean, obviously, it sucks, right? Because he's such a historic and legendary announcer, and his voice is synonymous with the University of Alabama in my book, and in my dad's book, and in my brother's book, and so many other people across the country, and especially down here in the state. Um, it's a little shocking to me that the way it happened, right? Like them just, not renewing his contract. Now, they did give him an opportunity to call the 8A game. Um, he turned that down. So it seems like there was some animosity on both ends here, especially in Eli's case, where he probably took offense to it. But I understand the move. I mean, I hate to say it, but they did have to make a lot of accommodations for him just to be able to do it for home games because he didn't travel. So they had to bring in Chris Stewart to begin with. But I think ultimately it was a decision that was going to happen soon. Right now, we just assumed that Eli Gold would just retire and ride off into the sunset, but that's not the case because he took another job in Nashville for an arena football league. So obviously, he didn't think he was done. He felt like he had more left in the tank, but unfortunately, that won't be at Alabama. You know, it is what it is with the direction that everything's going in Tuscaloosa. They're trying to get some young blood in there, not only coaching staff, but also in the booth as well, calling the game. So it was inevitable, but it still sucks. Chase?
Yeah, I mean him being there for 35 years, I think it's correct him and Saban go out in the same offseason. I think it's a little weird if Gold sticks around and Saban doesn't or vice versa, honestly. They're just synonymous with each other in my book. I think for me though, the most interesting aspect was, yeah, Eli Gold's gone, but then you have Alabama saying, "Hey, like we've decided not to renew his contract," and then Gold comes out and says, "Hey, I'm not retiring. They just didn't want to pick me back up," and that just seemed like a errant shot right at the university immediately, and so that one kind of threw me off. And then Alabama comes out with another response saying, hey, we didn't renew because of all the reasons that Freddie just mentioned, X, Y, and Z, your health problems, all this stuff. We got a guy that's doing just as good, if not better. You're also very expensive, and you're only doing half the game. So I really hate that. That's if you have any kind of IQ points here, you can tell that it just ended very poorly. And that just really sucks to see with a guy that is just so storied with an organization to go out that way. And then I think the following day, as Freddie just mentioned, he announces, "Oh yeah, I'm doing the Nashville Cats for the Arena Football League." That's just very sad, very disappointing. But Eli Gold is always going to be synonymous with Alabama football, and everybody that's heard a game on the radio is going to know his voice and what he's done for the program. But I just hate that it ended this way. But this is kind of for me, it's kind of a Lee Corso situation. It's a yeah, you shouldn't be around as much anymore, and it's not because you're not good at what you do. It's just it's time. The door's been open for a while, and it's time for you to walk through it and move on. When
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it short and sweet because y'all pretty much hit on my entire thoughts about it. It's sad to hear the voice of what was Alabama football for me growing up as a kid be gone and not on his own terms. From the university's perspective, I completely get it. You have an easy opportunity to just move on. The contract's up. You don't have to try to force him out, to force him into early retirement and make him stop calling before he wants to. You also don't have to, and I get not wanting to keep him around, paying him big bucks to only call home games and having to pay two crews. That's expensive, especially for radio. It's not really where you're getting your money nowadays anyway when it comes to calling a game. So
right?
it's sad to see him gone, especially not on his own terms. I think it's a pretty good thing to see it wrap up at the same time as Saban from a years down the line poetic standpoint. And it's a business move that just kind of makes sense if you're the University of Alabama. I wish Eli the most in the back half of his career with the Cats and whatever else he chooses to do. I mean, he's been calling all sorts of sports forever, so who knows? But interested to see what Chris Stewart does with the opportunity going forward. But
Yeah, he
that's all we.
also
Go
got
ahead.
offered a professional job too, is what he said. Like he mentioned that he got offered two jobs. The
Oh,
day
okay.
that the news broke that he was no longer with Alabama, he got offered two jobs. Ended up choosing the Nashville Cats.
Like like an NFL team?
That
Obviously not if he chose
I,
Arena
I,
football.
I don't know. I don't know. He didn't.
Hmm.
He didn't specify because I think they're still in talks to potentially do something on down the road. So it could be an NFL team, considering the seasons don't really align with arena football.
Well, I
Okay.
mean, and it makes sense. I mean, he's called all sorts of like things at the highest level that has a bunch of listeners. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked at all to hear that there's a professional team interested in bringing him in. But I think that's all we've brought today for this one on Eli. We thank you guys for listening. If you liked it, give us a thumbs up, comment down there, tell us what you think about the Eli situation. And until next time, I've been Quinn. That's Freddie. That's Chase.